and deliver a catalytic effect for fresh financing to Ghana. This non-bailout technical assistance policy coordination instrument will complement government effort to achieve investment grade in the near future. Achieving investment grade is very important and significant to the people of Ghana. It will lower sovereign and in private sector borrowing costs and attract long-term institutional investors, increase foreign direct investment, and unlock cheaper financing for critical infrastructure development and private sector growth. Ultimately, this engagement will support Government of Ghana's effort to accelerate sustainable development, create jobs, and raise living standards for all Ghanaians. President Mahama and his administration remain fully committed to good governance, prudent economic management, fiscal discipline, and creating an attractive environment for both domestic and international investment. Thank you very much.
Mame Emma watching once again na Memma Wakwaba to Onia TV. W'asem Yie Jumediation Mini Ede Kwame appear could be Mr. Speaker. Highly grateful once again and pay across the country. Baby Oshe Yebiano. It's Saturday morning. Ana ye breaky issues no down. Na afi wetimi atim kombono ase. It is not about propaganda ana enye about noise. Any day this is purely fact based into the issues na watching munyinano etimi aba. Now we tell you what, the Ghana government and the International Monetary Fund, we are told, the financial bailout Ghana ECOMO in May 2023, as of yesterday, and there's a Ghana and the IMF agreement, extended credit facility arrangement, after the successful review of the 6-year staff level arrangement na the Ministry of Finance any abino any IMF all together itimi etna say na unim say from 2022 you call into economic challenges. The previous government decided say you be call for a bailout from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, over $3 billion any sika ya free the IMF at every point in time na SSA call for review at the staff level na afi womoshe say policies womodia amount conditions wohono udi so pepepa, then you proceed say the next tranche of a year resources and asike say womotimi devote edemo my Ghana na womotimi devote already. Plans were underway say anka yebetimi I extended program to August 2026, but as a announcement no etimi aba. But aside say financially abino kase yen call for bailout from the IMF, there is a new coordinated policy abino any IMF etimi asanso ediomunsa ashen krata. So we'll come to that na anope ya breaking issues ningina no ede amount Onia TV. W'asem Yie Jumediation say share live on DSTV. This is channel 361 Go TV channel 116 on our YouTube page and our Facebook Onia TV Facebook handles ningina anope wonya ye live. A blissful morning to you. Say afei na do a fidia to hanoma ye na was surely I'm joined by Dr. Kwesi Nyame Befi ono economist and a lecturer with the Gempa as well Ghana Institute of Management as well, and Meneno Ebedi and Komo. He's as well part of the New Patriotic Party's policy committee, the secretary to that committee the New Patriotic Party Ateno and Ebedi and Komo. Plus now what what say the Asante Achem North Mrashebe Ganino has been arrested a year Amsterdam. We'll come to that. Now the details associated with that. Yenewo Edeho and Komo. And I think so. Now what we want pay John Dramani Mahama assigning the Value for Money Act. Say the bill is now an act, a year law, a year into operation. Again, the legal reforms a year law no, and also Omampenyi etimi edenisa ashen krata na say asen signing na. Stay with us. Abidjafo will join us from a year 9. Eko yeni omunso ebedi enkomo na afei unso wadwe nkyere no yetimi akenkan ni nyina no at the amount. Stay with us. Ma yen try ho na yentie the IMF country director na ono nso ni nsema okaye after say the final stages of the agreement any abino together with the IMF it decided say this is where we come to the end of the road, but we'll come to that. Say the coordination program can we consider still Ghana or IMF na the experts will talk to us more about na afi yetimi enya musu yehuno mayentie the IMF country director na yebra.
Very impressive. Growth has been very strong and even stronger than what we expected, supported by broad-based private sector recovery and robust exports. These outcomes reflect determined policy implementation and progress in debt restructuring, and they mark an important turning point for the Ghanaian economy. As stability takes hold, our engagement is shifting beyond the ECF towards sustaining reforms and building resilience. We have reached staff-level agreement on the 36-month PCI. The PCI is, as Minister explained, a non-financing engagement, meaning that the phase of Ghana's dependence on IMF financing is over. Instead, the PCI serves as a strong IMF stamp of approval, signaling to markets and developing partners that policies are sound and reforms are on track, helping to reinforce confidence and catalyze investment and support. As Minister has mentioned, legally speaking for us, PCI is not a program, it's a form of a technical assistance. We're very happy to engage in this new phase of relationship with Ghana. The PCI will focus on multiple objectives. Importantly, sustaining growth-friendly fiscal consolidation, safeguarding debt sustainability, strengthening transparency and governance, reinforcing monetary and financial policy frameworks, supporting diversification, inclusive growth, and job creation. This instrument will entrench policy credibility and lock in the gains achieved under the ECF. Improvements in the debt trajectory have created fiscal space. This space can be now used to address pressing development needs, promote employment, especially among the younger population, strengthen social and priority spending. Importantly, this must be done without reversing to the hard-won stabilization gains. Maintaining discipline supported by stronger public financial management, better SOE oversight, and reduced quasi-fiscal risks will be very important going forward. The external environment remains uncertain and volatile, with risk from global conflicts and commodity price volatility. This underscores the need for continued prudent fiscal and monetary policy, stronger buffers, advancing structural reforms, and enhancing resilience. The overarching objective going forward is to entrench macroeconomic stability and support stronger, more inclusive growth. Sustained reform momentum would be required, strong institutions are needed, and continued focus on private sector growth and employment should be prioritized. Let me close by commending the Ghanaian authorities for their strong engagement and reforms. And above all, we would like to recognize the resilience and the determination of the Ghanaian people, which has been central to these achievements, which are undeniable. Avoiding past cycles of fiscal imbalances and rising debt and staying the course on reforms will be key to securing the durable gains going forward. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to answer your questions.
Thank you very much.
Mami, and now I say once again, and that is the IMF country director, Dr. Adrian Alta, and Otese Okasano. Earlier on, Otese, Ghana's finance minister, Uraka Selatumba, forcing, explaining baby or maino aba bedruse say. Mami Dr. Nyami Benfi Ache na memano akwaba or no my first guest and pay ameneno ADM Komowe extensively. Doc, good morning. And Pom to say.
Yeah, morning. I'm not now, sir.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, first of all, tell us, party what to say?
Oh, Nyamina Daroma, Bibiaboko. I think says we follow news for some time now. We said the party since last year and has been going through a reorganization.
Okay.
And the reorganization na yakoswa. Last week, National Council of the party approved the policy and sector committees of the party.
Okay.
and other standing committees of the party.
Very well. So, you no so na ye no ho enkomo, but ye de IMF videos are me boss here no ana ebe share because abinda dai chair mono ana ede sa policy way buy. I mean the genesis of it. You declared say you call IMF na afi ya call for a bailout some $3 billion ana yetimi ede yensa share. Help us understand the genesis, the reason here as at the time here say na SSA government of Ghana go into such a program and policy na afi yemra what's the government of the day and so any edi hon komwe.
Many they can be much will be on much what I think say it's very important to say the okay, you know. Maybe I do. As a matter of fact, even in 2017, MPP
there was an existing
also
program. Yes.
IMF program. As a matter of fact, in September 2017, IMF for more review back then under the NDC 1 or NDC 2, which was Mahama's first term. No? Review. No, most say the program na beto no. So that program no na NDC 4 may say several targets.
Okay.
Until we say ne ihia say MPP abamba no mo be putting your man into order to make sure say it meet all the program criteria no, so that we can successfully exit.
Okay.
Similarly, during the post-COVID era, COVID-19, countries across the globe, they went into crisis. There was a global economic crisis. Many countries, many developing countries, including Ghana, Omoko under an IMF program. So those were the times now oil prices, global oil prices now hit almost $120 per barrel. So which affects fuel prices. And of course, the fuel prices cost because free so fuel price cost transportation cost and also affecting the cost of food in terms of food inflation cost. So shipping cost increase significantly. It is a shipping cost is increase here. That means that you might have manone at the bag and also the bobe the cost. Across the globe, a lot of economies go into challenges. And today here say these countries, including Ghana, call under an IMF program. IMF will be more with monetary, financial support. Now, almost a guide you more in terms of policies near the idea. External buffers, reserves. Our economy now as so these were some of the reasons in here. IMF, Ghana, and many developing countries at the time, post-COVID, now here some call under an IMF program at the time, so that economy bit me as a to say the net year before COVID-19. So these were the genesis of the IMF program. Now, say and now the extended credit facility program, which was the financing program of the IMF. That program W'asem Yie.
Yes.
Now, say Ghana more or less a transition into a non-financing policy program. Meaning, say, still Ghana relationship with IMF every year.
Okay.
Ghana moving from a form of an IMF program, which was a financing program, that $3 billion
it's a bailout
program. And as I say, a transition into another 3-year program.
Okay.
36 months program. 36 months program, which is a non-financing program. And that non-financing program really, IMF for person who make sure say stability na stability na sustained.
Okay.
IMF for person who make sure say policies are about way they better acquire policies are credible. Policies are policies are beboa amagana for either so what kind of the details of the review they flagged certain key risks as a matter of fact any new risk me as an economist I've raised before, several other economists have also raised before. The chairperson of the policy coordination committee of the MPP, Honorable Kojo Nkrumah, so I raised that. And I don't know, some of the key risks here, domestic gold purchase program.
Okay.
MPP are buying a shots,
Okay, but I mean, the financial bailout, most often, about with conditionalities. So, conditionalities, in the past, under the NDC one, under President Mahama one, there were conditions, ban on employment, now you equally went into the program in 2023, came with some level of conditionalities. Now the question is that you're free the financial bailout zone nemo ever policy coordination. So say the IMF ever try some and say what the policy be ba you better say policy now what they ban credible enough ye so man for this and say but the most important thing you say effect as our policy ebenya ewo mine sikasem so with all these conditionalities the financial bailout edebano. Now what about the policy coordination program say what are the attachment conditionalities ye betimi as part of the year kwakuru say vis-a-vis comparing that to the not your name in time past.
Mr. Speaker, so even the finance minister, Honorable Kaseo Atofos Nkai.
Yes.
That would say the IMF representative and country director and also Ekaya. I find it difficult to understand, say, more journalists for and they are buying can say, Ghana, any IMF, say, any relationship with BIBION. And as I say, that Ghana, IMF, so that's what we need to clarify and be specific.
Okay.
Say, Ghana's program, the Extended Credit Facility Program, and IND. But we are moving into another program with the IMF. And then here the policy coordination instrument now, IMF country director, and also can once a month, Atofos and Ankasa, so can say a non-financing policy with the IMF. Because that whole idea here, the non-financing policy here, IMF from first kind of the now, so the UBABIano, you are still under IMF supervision. IMF monitor. I'm making sure, say, mube safeguard gains now a shot here from 2023. Mube safeguard those gains, because IMF buy no, there are still certain key risks. And I may can discuss it later. But IMF also say the way I buy the person preparing the whole year Numabino. One shot Ghana to my man for
going forward.
And it's Obesha IMF for your projection crash your debt to GDP ratio now up down significantly. So by 2023 now Ghana debt to GDP somewhere around I think 72.5%. And about all the way down from 2023, 2024 now about down to 61.8%. And to who say now debt to GDP ratio no ban ever form. And at December 2025, about all the way down so to 45% based on policies and now shots here under the previous MPP government. So say IMF for a projection say your debt to GDP by the end of 2026 to about 53%. And these are issues and challenges and IMF forecast no. Say extended credit facility program now in the crown and still an SMUTIMUBA under some form of monitoring supervision.
Okay.
You be making sure say more free IMF program now say no more come back to challenges during the COVID situation. Because gross international reserves here ira to force in kase akona ni munti embo na baso no no kre as a matter of fact December 2016 now your gross international reserves was somewhere around $4 billion. MPP are buying free so 2024 now your gross international reserves was somewhere around $9 billion. So
currently the minister no MIT says the reserve no is around $14.5 billion.
The point here say omoba tools omoba now gross international reserves no in decline here. Now gross international reserves no cost. Now that means say na nhihye bi edakwan mu a ema yehu growth in our gross international reserves. If I GDP growth rate, the same thing. Growth rate from a COVID era of 0.5%. Year free so December 2024 now GDP growth rate now somewhere around I think 5.7, 5.8%. You find inflation and also inflation was in a decline. Policies are now MPP are buying no and no was sustaining these positive indicators are and no na IMF forecast say ECF program now as a transition into a non-financing one sila ni yebe monitor and supervise reforms and this are buying beto akwan mu sa na yan derail on positive gains now
yenya so far
from 2023.
Okay. So interestingly, to say the na by end of 2026, IMF is projecting some 50.7. I mean percent.
50.7.
50.7 in terms of national debt to your GDP. Currently around 45.3%. Say yeah, can say. But so would see the finance minister said the current program for economic reforms. The it is to ensure say you bring a lot of policy credibility in terms of the capital market. Now the ratings
but they all kind of repeating no repeating the all kind.
So finance minister said they have to ensure market credibility in terms of the capital market.
And the capital market
and no is to ensure say investors into our economy. So clearly they require say IMF will safeguard coordinated policy
no much
credibility number, but he wasn't emphatic say on the capital.
When you about to say you will have seen a finance minister Nankasa say Ghana prepare some call into the capital market, and I know
maintain,
but the all kind it's the same way. You see the whole point here is Ghana is transitioning into another IMF non-financing program. So we are moving from the ECF program into a non-financing program for another, I think, 36 months. So finance minister, he should just be specific because a boy, Emma investors here, a boy with credibility no more can W'asem any BBR. But I think one thing, finance minister anka W'asem nanka mehesenka obeka bibia fa hono yese nso kan gross international reserves or kan about inflation any macroeconomic indicators here akonanim. I was expecting say as a matter of fact so share IMF anka so mo review na IMF review na ka say because of debt restructuring in a shares here and thing make say because of policies a shares here prior to this government so under the MPP government and on a creative fiscal space Ebuama buy no high or more achieve certain development objectives.
I don't know but for instance
previous government
yes, I understand
because of program
but again
politically costly
again the question is that for instance program you remember red flag now and I will raise in this to see just after this one program ni say not more year domestic gold purchase right program before and more executive power again not more year gold for oil right? There was a policy.
There was a policy.
Yes. And I feel the domestic debt exchange program, right? A major decision I'm taking here.
Politically costly decision.
Unpopular to a far extent. But again, the bottom line for the DDEP program now, and it's I mean, most of the payments are necessary were rescheduled. So clearly, there is also, I mean, the contest between now and then 2032. There is a lot of payment this government is doing. Bondholders are payment, at some point they might have to raise their coupons and then government will have to pay them. Maturity stages as soon as to far extent quite unpopular because of that bold decision. Some level of it. So the prudent management finance minister what it means is that at least almost you would agree they are doing something right.
Minya, I think we are rephrasing this whole conversation in the wrong direction. So okay about prudent management. My question say domestic debt exchange program is here. It's kind of so much bondholders. Previous government in it
some payments were made.
No, not some payment. Domestic debt exchange program is here. Payments are not buying under the domestic debt exchange program. Time is so you're buying it under the DDEP. As a matter of fact, I don't like going into the past, but sometimes in economic history, so Emma achieve for a global or a comprehensive understanding of the issue. MPP are buying back so 2017. Unim said there were a lot of data. Na say MPP are buying na say almost kutuya. And then no cry was with shorter maturity but high interest. And no can who be tikrana debt levels in unsustainable because we had to make significant payments even under in the energy sector. They make a what?
Yes, to the IPPs.
To the IPPs. And it say MDC are buying so abamu. Now say omu continue on with the payments MPP are buying shots here previously. But it will be unfair to say the omaye no sonko in the sense abayna omubedi omade no sa abayn no under the DDP program payments are na so moye no na sa abayn no so those payments in particular they make what matter enu ntina na make say inka ense hwe say ka finance minister no IMF for the kan so kan the full review now IMF for the kan say domestic debt exchange program na a cost MPP abayna can who be na creative fiscal space na ama NDC for one high or more or mutimi some of the developmental projects are more the ben or more yes in tinka and say inka finance minister never can say okay more domestic debt exchange program the politics banukrini ya buy no aboa they said the governor Siama Bank of Ghana for call amanone UK or can say domestic gold purchase program na yera Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Shasia no that domestic gold purchase program no can say emboa so be kai agam na siam can say emboa or can say nye bibia e bitima bo economy no but ye ba ye no ya sesa ya adwene ye hu se ade a eboa ye kra na ye pese ye san hyimu kena ntinka ense hwe senka finance minister no e be kan BBC but who create impression is recovery here recovery a chance here in 8 months wrong until America semester won what chief nyina say politicians ne kasa omuntie the politicians ne kan because otie atofos here on one kasa kura no even though na onye specific na America sen kasa or specific
okay
or international reserves 4 billion 2016 2024 $9 billion. Inflation, COVID time, over 50%. About December 2024, now about all the way to 23 point something %. GDP growth rate, COVID era 0.5%. free so 2024 now about all the way to 5.7%. All these indicators were in the right direction. Since I can say, you know, as a moving on into the, in the indicators, you know, is keeping on in that right track. As a bomb, as a bought MPP abaso. Now you bought NDC abaso say almost so atwa the MPP shasi no. But no cry no, me say economic discussion be centered around numbers. Because you can't inflation children. You can't gross international reserves. Me and me nua baby or baby no catch and say gross international reserves do $14 billion. And I will catch and say inflation about
3
point something percent. Inflation, you know, then actually. The time you need say inflation back form you say you percent cost of living here the bank. Eba form. And no never ma one high. And never ma me so me one the bank a high. See a case economy no you experience stability and you experience growth. You percent students are mature ma dey wo game panel. Omu wie na se omu hwehwe adwuma omu be de ben omu benya bia ye ana se menua mo a omu wo mikrom e wo sunyane omu so no omu epa adwuma omu be de ben omu benya bia ye but se my students in wie school na so omu ko hwehwe adwuma na se omu nya bi nye ana se menua mo a omu wo mikrom e wo sunyane so omu so hwehwe adwuma na so omu nya bi nye ana se obi a wa share adwuma ase ana adwuma mmanfo so mo kofa car na se de bia ne bo okosoro ana se wo fie na se wo water bill no electricity bill ebo no kwa na ekosoro ana se mo pese mo bia ndwuma ma mmabunu nya bi he no omo se electricity bill akosoro too much se so mo reduce mo production na ha adwene na no numbers na ye bohu dero no sa numbers ne pa
esusu
aso ne den eno no na ye say economic discussions centered on eno no na ye say ye nkomo a ye bedi no eno na ye say di ho nkomo because the whole point of economic management in ye say ye begina ho numbers ye good but enye say economic management in chere say ye betina ho na ye bosi about numbers there be the whole point is say me economists the whole point is say ato forcing your finance minister near yini say Ghana for whom ben han mbabunu no benya adwuma ye de ben aye eno no na the whole point of economic discussion it is transportation cost ekosoro say electricity bill ekosoro say water bill ekosoro say sebe mbabunu no pe adwuma ye na say omunya adwuma ye na say unemployment rate ekosoro na ade a adwene and no na ese etna busa say adenti na numbers na yehu no sa numbers no keep go in the right directions but however no when reflected in the lives of the average Ghanaian and no na ye ade ese interrogate because and no na hadwene ese aban we ehihye omunoma yie a ebeboa ama Ghana for e de be omo han and no reflecting some of the key risks now IMF for year
okay so yamra the key risk so I think yesterday Andra me who said there was some caption from a country director Dr. Adran indicating say I am privatizing ECG right
yeah I won't say private sector participation EBA within the distribution sector.
Okay.
Yes.
Like PDS EBA in the past, and
that's all. Even private sector participation way NDC forecast say any idea I'm support it. And I won't kai.
No, but yes. So
okay,
Mekai, but yembra into the substantials.
Yeah.
So say the local gold purchase program.
Yeah.
As I say, a buying no a risk, right? So let's come to that. Plus the many others, the country director, we are told say oboso na mintio any more position mumu cross say.
So the domestic gold purchase program, so Ira Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Governor Siama at the time on your governor or can say domestic gold purchase program and the Ababua okay, domestic. so Obakaya, your governor is here of the Bank of Ghana, a Siama, or can say, Saturday no your Bank of Ghana governor, or can say domestic gold purchase program, more economy no in any shape or form. Now, so Omoba or share numbers, no interrogating numbers, no who said no. Domestic gold purchase program, they are there. Abwa a boosty gross international reserves. No, as some boosty your gold boosty your gold reserves. The domestic gold purchase program they are there abwa. Now so mobile no or modify domestic gold purchase program. Can no more good board a year at the buyer. Say na IMF for cancer. So we share Bank of Ghana for financial statements on the domestic gold purchase program. Nenkwa omoboka about 9.8 billion Ghana cedis. But MPP Bressono, the same domestic gold purchase program, no man bokasa 9.8 billion Ghana cedis. Inti adena under MPP program no, MPP for the initiative program, no man boka 9.8 billion Ghana cedis under NDC form reso, moboka 9.8 billion Ghana cedis. And no so we sana, and that means mwa economy because at the end of it all no the average the taxpayer no na one share or bear incur the burden no especially say as a Ministry of Finance bamunasa or absorbing that cost na the other risk na what's on here say we share data Bank of Ghana for incur. From 2022 on na BOG losses no eba form.
Yes.
BOG losses na eba form. Eba form all the way down to December 2024 na BOG losses e wo here say. There's somewhere around 9 billion meboa.
In 2024, yes.
2024. Inti adena say losses no etimi increase ko about 34 billion Ghana cedis. And come on ton gold reserves na Inka ebe increase all the way to 44 billion Ghana cedis. Gold reserves na Ghana wano krana ya. It is a debia mukasa mu tombi to fund the losses of Bank of Ghana. And be do baby na gold your reserves ni nyina de asa. Na atorenchen bi sia.
No somebody will say the expert will say yes. Atorenchen bi sia conditions no, but the question is that what is the essence yebewo gold reserve na yebeki reserve no wabra yenim say your economy no all the indicators are ye no I mean enye in good condition enti our reserves no with inflation
no, I disagree with
exchange rate then what becomes of the reserve once you know say by your import driven no you need a lot more of dollars I mean our system nim to be able
you see I'm happy say I love this economic discussions. I love this economic discussions there. You see, indicators here will come once. Because exchange rate no enya. Exchange rate no na before the domestic gold purchase program. Na exchange rate no the same. Almost share domestic gold purchase program na sia na you boost your gold reserves. Na exchange rate no year na se na ye. Me busa. Oh yeah, economics into me busa. Na year na se ye. Next rate no ye. At the same time no, na your gold reserves na so ye the ben. Economy. Inflation na e ka ho asem ye. Satama na ye boost your gold reserves. Na inflation ba for man na se na ba for.
From 54%.
Na inflation na ba for.
By 2024 NPP fra ba no. Inflation came to 23.8. Eba
from to 23.8. Emma IMF for cry in 2024 predicted say in 2025 inflation baba single digit of 8%. Until that time now inflation is going to the right direction. Now still a boost your gold reserves and a boost. You boost your gold reserves. That time now GDP growth rate is moving from 0.5% to 5.7%. Now gold reserves in boost and a boost. So you cannot make any argument, any sound economic argument to say we had to sell our gold reserves in order to ensure say indicators here that show signs of recovery. Now I say deplete reserves to sustain that recovery.
No, but again,
it doesn't make. I mean, it doesn't make any sound economic argument.
Okay, but sound economic argument. So let me take you on that. Who tools are BOG no at the year Juma in 2022? Oboka over 60 billion Ghana cedis, right?
60 billion Ghana.
60 billion Ghana cedis.
And that you have to put in context.
At the time, inflation was 54%.
No. And I make us say you have to put it in a context. As at the time, our Bank of Ghana bought 60 billion in 2022. Central banks across the globe, European Central Bank, US Federal Reserve, Australia for the New Zealand for the central banks across the globe during the post-COVID era, to sustain the economy.
No, I agree.
Now, the point is, at the time, Bank of Ghana losses, but now at the same time, now economy shows signs of recovery. As they say, you person making argument to say, here say to sustain that recovery. So when across the globe,
question now probably and year no year. So for instance, in 2022, our inflation is 54%, right? Bank of Ghana operational costs our over 60 billion Ghana cedis. And I'm modified Bank of Ghana losses. Let me put it that way. So and I'm modified inflation between 2022, a space of 2 years.
No, fighting. Not only 2024. But also to put the economy back on its feet.
But I'm saying, sir, within a space of 2 years, between 2022 and 2024, the BOG and the government make sure say inflation moving from 54% to 23%. What accounted for that? Definitely there will be some losses at BOG in care because of this, indicators within the system.
I don't know, Speaker, make us say Bank of Ghana incurred losses. But who share the trajectory of those losses now? And at the who say from 60.8 billion, some losses ever down to 9-point-something billion in December
2024. Yes.
Now, but you have seen it. Losses ever from. At the same time, now inflation rate is so ever from. IMF predicted say inflation rate never drop it all the way down to a single digit. To 8%, which would have been within Bank of Ghana and Ankasa inflation targeting. At the same time, another Bank of Ghana losses are dropping significantly, from 60-point-something billion to 9-point-something billion. Now GDP are increasing from 0.5% to about 5.7%. In the same time now, BOG losses are from. Now your gross international reserves are increasing to about $9 billion.
Okay.
So what justification does the current managers of the economy have? Say, Omobeka say, losses na eba form. Say no, sa losses say a cost to sustain these same gains na you sustaining and losses eba form. I don't know, say the Americans say
no, they all kind of better was here. But the question,
so what justification? Governor Nankasa, yes, when or by also very reversing losses now Bank of Ghana is making, which for me I believed it. I didn't think I believe it because no one who said policies are not previous government into acquire now losses in the ever form. In this Governor Siama Babe Castle or Obama Agba form more and as I make it profit.
So baby, I will challenge. I was saying yes, a DNT from 2024, okay, where the losses of the BOG was around 9 billion, right?
Yeah.
Good. So say for instance, I improve it to let's say 15 billion. They said you're more okay.
That be improve.
No, like
9 billion. Yes, that is the word improve.
That is what I'm saying.
Even the losses Nankasa no cry 15.6 billion. 60.8 billion.
Side of argument.
It's not about side of argument.
Let me
60.8 billion.
Let me ask this question.
60.8 billion. Does it include other comprehensive income losses or not?
I don't know the more argument I'm making, but
also your own analysis.
What I'm saying is that per the statement Bank of Ghana na publish it, right? The audited accounts are KPMG a year.
Yes.
Any the Bank of Ghana no at their chair or say the loss 15.6.
No, that's not what they are saying. No. Doc, answer me correctly. That's not what Bank of Ghana is saying. Bank of Ghana is saying, there is a 15.6 billion loss when it comes to their operational side. And when you come to other comprehensive income losses too, there are losses there. That's what Bank of Ghana is saying. Bank of Ghana and Gina Babianka say total losses is 15.6 billion.
So the operational loss,
they have admitted they say there's a 15.6 billion loss. So we share income statement
15.6
attributed to operations.
Okay.
And over the other comprehensive income losses are. So other comprehensive income losses and also what so a car a daho. 60.8 billion now will come 17. So 60.8 billion, does it include other comprehensive income losses or not? And no, as a way of analysis. Intino say you per se you put it into a right context. Near proper analysis. You would have to add the other comprehensive income losses.
But the accountant are telling you, Doc, a question. The accountant are telling you, sir, who you saw the international accounting system, sir, say cover the other comprehensive losses. At the Abeka Bank of Ghana, the operational loss of 15.6, no, it is not done like that way.
But even KPMG cry in their auditor statement to say.
So for Bank of Ghana, no, the open market operations are to ensure say there is stability with our currency. Now after inflation, no, ebetimi edru baby a edru no, and no idea if we are seeing no. Central banks incur those losses. Now again, Momo said Debbie, as I said, those comprehensive losses no ebabeka the operational loss. Now the gold sales are omumeki, right? The losses are by Sikomo 5 they take and also beka then it will amount to the 44 billion. That is the argument I'm making, right?
So the argument the minorities making. Yes, auditor statement here all can say. Even KPMG for can say auditor statement does not meet IFRS standards, International Financial Reporting Standards.
Yes, and
so I don't know.
Ignore it.
Yes, so I don't know where you are getting it from. Say, OSHA international standards. I won't even confirm losses here. No, KPMG for more year auditing. Omukra can say it doesn't meet IFRS standard. No more year. I'm going to prepare statement based on BOG and CASA internal accounting policy.
Okay.
So that has to be made clear. Now, Adentina Ubusa Bank of Ghana for Omuntimi confidently ember out in CASA total losses in 15.6 billion. Because when you say CASA, Omu Chan Kontumpo. Into Ubusa Omu say Bank of Ghana, a CASA in Omuboya, Omu say, oh. So we call income statement now operational year 15.6. But so other comprehensive income so losses are
where the other comprehensive income no includes what and what the losses there or no.
And say and I'm guarantee whether losses are in other comprehensive income, whether losses are a year, the total loss of Bank of Ghana is saying the total loss in a saying and only a can one say Senka the meme canon. And I said the minority they canon, enya no cry. Inka Ubusa Bank of Ghana Nibia, Nkobe Buda catcher say total losses is 15.6. But up to now, even Omu FAQs or release they were not bold enough to state to say total loss was 15.6 billion. And to be I'm still surprised to say we are still having this argument. Because even in the FAQs, no say call income statement operational a 15.6 billion Ghana cedis. But over other comprehensive income losses so a car that was AC Ukanina Buma is somewhere around 34 billion Ghana cedis. again no sa gold na ye ka so maton no ma ye you see enunti na de bia eya me ka say we shouldn't just allow politicians to make statements and go. We are politics now still I mean we need to do an academic exercise. Gold no mo ton first and then no mo kan almost say almost person portfolio diversification na Ghana gold reserves no do too much. Almost dey asem we be too dwa no na ye me wanwa. As a matter of fact, many several of my colleagues who cried in home common economists for the home common say because Ghana gold reserves kasana a gold producing nation is over 30.5 tons of gold. Into Ghana gold reserves in the crown so call Amanonia US omu into galam say gold reserves no China for gold reserves UK for gold reserves Switzerland population in do baby crown gold reserves many workers say no still they are increasing their gold reserves into Ghana a gold producing nation. Yet me after gold reserves are free 8.7 tons. Near the bedroom over 30 tons. You person dey become most gold reserves no doors ntimo pese moton. Anyway, a car no nkrofo we politics na into portfolio diversification na say gold doors so fine. Almost half of your gold in the no. And almost aba can say no de ade bi atodwa of parliament the bill bi atodwa of parliament say no almost person we go increase gold reserves. I think we are make actually doesn't make sense to you. In just the last quarter of 2024, most gold na away reserves doors into more ton. Now you 2026 more say most person will increase gold reserves. So I said no. So we investigation it doesn't really make sense. Since I'm releasing financial statement and I feel na yati the entire omoton gold reserves. So we share financial statement and I'll be who say Senka Bank of Ghana for Anton gold reserves and making certain gains in Bank of Ghana and policy insolvent. Policy insolvent in a purchase there. A say mandate and a Jumadia constitution in the Bank of Ghana says so moyeno. Senka Bank of Ghana for Uncle Tom gold no anya profiter. In Kasa Jumadia they are showing some
because of DNT.
Because of a cow ma batuwa. Sa kana cripple or more say make actually we say omo recapitalize omo have a recapitalization strategy so omo they recapitalize the Bank of Ghana. Now we embo say a whole central bank more mandate to fight inflation and at the same time put in place policies about with economic growth and development. Oma boka in a year omo timo boka sa say gold ya de to ho ama nchirimba no so mo ton no matimi remain solvent and as o muduma dia constitution de mom no matimi aye embo hu speak embo hu
meet you
ehu
Dr. Murphy say ehu so I mean so clearly I mean they share the trajectory. So for instance 2020 there was a little bit of modest surplus until even in the midst of a year COVID-19.
Surplus,
I mean, in terms of Bank of Ghana, either profit or loss, in terms of the operations. Over 2021, it was, I mean, relatively stable in terms of the financial position. But 2022, and I incurred the 60.81 billion,
which was the total losses.
It was the total loss.
Total loss,
not the operational loss.
total loss.
Yeah. Okay. Then you come to a year 2023. 2023, there was a loss of 10.5 billion, right?
Total loss.
Total loss. Okay. Yeah. Then total loss now was then over a year 2024, there was also a loss of
total loss
9.49 billion Ghana cedis.
Total loss.
Total loss.
Okay.
Then, so the explanation I'm getting is that it was an open market operations and the gold for oil, I mean, related losses. So how do you classify only a total loss?
I said these are the losses. And you're 2024 as well.
Yes, 2024.
So when you have losses now, a better home and 9.4 billion. So in America say losses at Bank of Ghana in Kenya no and no yes 9.4 billion financial statement in account 17.
Okay.
But 2025 for the na beautiful year no match losses no into two. Or match other comprehensive income losses and or match the other one. But 2024, 2023, 2022
everything they were not combined.
And I make one say so if you want to be fair, if you want to do honest, if you want to do credible assessment, won't even compare the 15.6 billion and ignore other comprehensive income losses. That's all that I'm saying. That's all that the minority is saying. Yes, Ghana for so more better no muso ayo muhwehwemu. And just when I'm making idea a broad and entiaso.
But again, so one would say is another question earlier on na maybe for clarity because Bank of Ghana and Najuma wo ye no the monetary policies are there ba no SSC you making sure yes, so I'm just asking say Bank of Ghana no ensure price stability, true or false?
True.
Good. So in doing all of it, now the cost of the losses are being incurred due to open market operations. Now, or they are fighting inflation, my inflation I stabilize. Fighting from 23.8% to 2025, it was 5.4. Now, currently as we speak, at the end of first quarter 2026, inflation and 3.2%. And one would say, a justifiable with the current laws here from baby I will pick inflation. The exchange rate, any the akabia free, because that is the justification they give us. Say, Bank of Ghana ne crab kana indicators are you who say no. Is it justifiable?
What is Bank of Ghana's inflation target?
Plus or minus 2, 8, right?
Yes. So Bank of Ghana inflation target here 8 plus or minus 2%.
Yes.
Meaning say
and the lower band should be 6,
and at the higher band
should be 10.
Should be 10%.
Yes.
Okay. So now we know what Bank of Ghana's inflation target is. Okay. Now my second question is, IMF your more prediction or more projection in 2024 say inflation will drop it to 8%. Now Bank of Ghana losses in a form and as an form.
Yeah, the kind of that.
Now a form.
Yes.
Okay.
So 2023 was 10.5. 2024 a form to 9.4.
Okay.
Yes.
So
now you're the wrap.
Okay. Now Bank of Ghana losses in a form. Anna policies are previous government net to acquire. IMF project is 2025 you be achieve a single digit inflation of 8%.
Yes.
So that 8% would it have been within the inflation target expectations of Bank of Ghana or not?
It would have been.
It would have been.
Yes, but again, almost to 5.4%.
And they say no problem in there.
No, but I'm just saying, even the 8% target, a buying way reduce here to 5.4.
I'm going to reduce it to 5.4%.
At the close of 2025.
Justify.
No, I'm just asking, doesn't it justify?
No, I make a choice. Set your own target.
Okay.
8 plus or minus 2%. That target, based on data, GOG or government or Ghana would have achieved that target with reduction in Bank of Ghana losses.
Okay.
They would have achieved that target. Until we had done that, no home me hobe catch me say, na say me boka pudu we and sana matimi achieve my target or exceeded my target expectations. As we are making speak out the kind of credit. It makes sense. No,
but that is the current position of the government.
But I make a choice. Say discussions. Into the match government for or Bank of Ghana for stance, and it doesn't make sense to you. In any case, because of time, in Kamesa at Checho Mwamo who said this inflation rate here, it also has this negative effect. I will end with this because of time.
Yes.
Speaker said, "Oh, driving." Now say, "Omode a yibo hono say maximum speed limit 80 km per hour." Yemfansa akra kumase kwan so na eboso say 80 km per hour maximum speed limit. Oko 60 km per hour. Okay and okay.
It's still within.
Oko 70 km per hour.
Within the limit.
Oko 80 aye de
within.
Oko 120 aye say.
Wabroso.
But ehun susu anso ye de ha. So anso ni bi na ye de ha.
Susu anso betimi anya accident, you betimi achill and all of that.
Yeah, no. Se BBC a unni any or reaction time. And as we break failure a fatal accident.
Okay.
Meboa. Similarly, no, the policy tools Bank of Ghana use to create that artificial rate of 3.something%, and also what the Hunsu no affects job creation.
Okay.
Another time,
another time.
Okay. Let's have intellectual.
Thank you so much, Anope, for coming through. Very well. And Dr. Nyame Befi and Anope Meneno Eddie and Komo for the first half. Stay with us. Ma yen try your hombra. Yaba yabidra phone so ebet nase. Na yedi the second part no Eddie at 2 hours so. Yabasi.
Milo All-in-One Nutrimix is truly milky and contains calcium. So no need to add milk to that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish and energize your kids. Milo All-in-One Nutrimix is such a smart choice. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Hot chocolate. I would eat cocoa. Milk, make a shitray night. Cocoa, a con, and midgy pie. Lemma saying kiss. Cadbury, and nipple corn. A photo, a baby. Empty, a G. Megan! What is on news? I need you, but Megan.
Where you go? It's a way there. A soya send a bear, better than Australian member to say once and you.
Where are you? Now makes me up pray a quick Johnny man. It's so behind me. What brought me new ones in the area and a bay? Now your bro say
Atesh.
Akoya sa kuma ebo we sumu. Eya na ehu. Aya de bia etete. Na nkwaso wom. Na so wotweben ya. Eya de ohu beto. Akoya se yesumu efidie ewon fifi.
Omo gyina ya da sisi de drum so.
Eya. Enya dia me pese me ware no. Okro yo wan. Yo wan.
Baby am your wajin ko bi so am ya na me you afri wiase.
Omo chimi am be obra na mi kra o wan ka be dai.
Me ojuma dia bi ma o. 187 days.
I engineer on Casite said, "Man, my cash car on."
Sisi abraço, o mo é nesse.
Triaco, Tribiso. Eya dia me time wan kasa. Tyrant.
Ana nyoma bebre wona. Sara ne toda, obitimi mani review yi mu nyina so.
Abo attached to.
Shebremu nsem ye no ejoda ekosi yawada 7 p.m. ewo Onia TV so
you me call mase yasin eye Kingdom Herbal Center Food Tech our produce snappy and number 8 snacks
Onia TV ye dwene ho pa
Cash
Milo All-in-One Nutrimix is truly milky and contains calcium. So no need to add milk to that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish and energize your kids. Milo All-in-One Nutrimix is such a smart choice. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
Onia TV, Djibouti, yeah. Say a did it to me sing get a quapena and if you chale this be the time you say a did it a rap it to the king sack be the palm be the chale
Nana Kudrado the Premo, he be the god and the devil. Ahana Scono, yes, settle, Ahana, yes, settle level.
Nana Kujado the Bremo, Yadapa MC, and you who did a rapper travel and see.
Judy, a platform Kessia, Yadiaba Ama emerging music stars, a new vibes, a raw talent, and a real talk. Hey, Judy with Nana Kujado, Friday 9 p.m. live, Ewonia TV so. Judy, a Koso.
You may call Masoya saying, Aya, Jojo carbonated vodka mix.
Sese Wonia TV, Ewo DSTV channel 361, and a Go TV channel 116 so.
Yansampo, Yansampa, Yade bro.
Yansampo, Yansampa,
Yansampo, Yansampa, Yansampa, Yansampa,
Yansampo, Yansampa,
Yansampo, Yansampa, Yade bro.
Yansampo, Yansampa, Yade bro.
Cash out, oh, cash out. Munya Eritana Abede. Maye Unya cash out. Maybe need 10,000 Ghana cedis. But they can expand the new business. This year, Sumukom Oriza Fe. Onine share pepe. It's Mrs. Kenny Busso, Bazooka Jimenua. Munya, and I there ever dial *439#. Now also a trade, now also a busy. Next a Yorubano, Bombarding either also a red and a boat trade, now also a busy. Or ya real, a in true beara in him. More here in there, about share on your TV from Monday to Friday. Now also a trade, a busy.
Eja esoya sene beya bedane oswa na se konsenje
we eyoku na makes me pray akwa eja ni mu a esro bi ani wo abra me nwe hu se na ewie ya de beye na ye bro say
Atesh
akoye sa kuma ebo W'asem mu eyo na ehu aya ade bi a etete na nkwaso wom na so twebe ya eya dia ohu beto akoye se W'asem mu efidie e won fifi
W'asem mujina da sisi de drum so
eya enya dia me pese me ware no ogro yo wan
baby am ye wajin kwa bi so amia na me yi wa free W'asem
omo chimia me ba obra na mi kra wanka be dai
me ojuma die bi ma o 187 days
engineer nkasa tse me matesh karahan
sisi abraso umo ene sen
Triako Tribiso eya dia me time wan kasa tyrant
ana nyoma bebre wona sara ne toda obitimi mani review yin mu nyina so
abo Atesh too
Arafta Shebemun Sem Yeyino Ejroda Ekosi Yawada 7 p.m. Ewo Onia TV so
you me call Masoya saying a Kingdom Herbal Center Food Tech our produce snappy and number 8 snacks
Onia TV ye dwene ho pa
Mame na wase once again na W'asem Yie dwumadie ana ogoso a wo hwe no just gone by nkomo amene Dr. Nyame Befi edi ye now ebraso se yede abedwafo no so etena se na ora Maxwell Ofosu Boache former MC ewo Swami in the Ashanti region, a member of the New Patriotic Party and then secretary to the local government committee at the New Patriotic Party Aformi Sese. Richard Etonam Nyakon the regional youth organizer of the NDC in the Eastern region. Arope Ononso Atenase. Solomon Owusu director of communication at the UP party no Ononso ebe join here in the conversation na anope yetimi edi enkomo. Mamema Maxwell Achen na memano Akwaba. Max, good morning.
The Speaker, good morning.
Na enema muti sign party muti sign.
Oh, nyamia dum bibi ekoboko boni BNC. Eja eneya se oni wunu akure di nkomo wo WhatsApp. Man hwe am be di nkomo na wie na police fo abefa.
Udi nkomo or WhatsApp.
Any more social media.
I don't know nkomo be na udi police for be found.
Because Mr. Speaker, me when and honeso. Yes, so causing fear and panic.
Oh, but you know that cannot be the case.
Oh, are you sure?
Oh, yeah, very much aware. Sir.
Are you sure?
And in your case, in the current circumstance.
To the extent say obisi dumso abba, then no cry so cause fear and panic. Are you saying say it doesn't relate?
Is it misinformation and as if fear and panic?
Whatever. I'm not a legal person, but should this cause the arrest of Obi? Are you saying it's different from Asema Mekachi earlier now? So these things make FDIM share better or mine. So not because as an individual I'm afraid, but I feel our democracy is sinking. And no, Meka say enya boko, but the buyer pomo deni idea. Meka say nyamini medini ye.
Okay, Mami Emma Richard Etonam Nyako, Dodo na Alfredo Bilibo in the NDC, Commander Bilibo marching.
Yeah, just because
Ufugu nefe. Where man tell what to say?
Oh, Nyamiadum, where man tell Nyama Esesa.
Okay.
The results from the previous elections and Yamabunu is he Ediomo NDC. Now, party nearby.
How many seats or
I think 10.
10 seats.
Yeah.
That was Eastern region.
Yeah. And we share senior by a few years. Yeah. She said, youth entangled. I did Mpuntu ba Mabuna Brabum. Ama ho ajo form. I share ni say down kwama biano aba so fry betulo. Udimdi kesi eba be share ndisi.
We are sustaining our seat.
We are hoping to even win majority of the vote or region. Said Nipadodo no.
I know what you just on any sugar
and this why they who say baby in the next election. Create strategies in Niama Elkoso Elho, any Amamu Papa, and also President Mahama Edanedia. OGD said a baby majority of the votes or region.
Okay, Mamenasi. Now, medical Edin Komo actual that IMF issues no now. Surprisingly, this week, Dr. Baumia issued statement. Now, statement no, and Crawford Dona no account W'asem about issues air coso and the arrest and air coso. Now, we'll tell you the data no airca. I have said in the last 1 year, 4 months, there's been a lot of arrests. Are buying way by a minimum of about 18. What means no any say offer bosomi bia are buying way edi ewa konya so 1.3 arrest and yetimi make but because a yedi paninti no 0.5 there and ke besa many up but let's just say offer I mean bosomi dodo are buying way edi wa konya so what it means no and say in the last 16 or so months, no, Bosumi bia ya chilipa bakun ewum. But the question no, and say ya chilipa na a caucus is saying the bottom line no, and say, and no, different from omoana ekita position, ewa baimu, and they no yoko beton sa from OSP beton sa from and I beka say ye detain you omo because ye per se omo responded to certain things. I'm talking about arrest ya make a border on either say what publishing false information and false news and misinformation at the ABA system name over 18 people and so far data indicates say ya arrested one more and no explanation no but mami enshasi e Maxwell also because Dr. Baumia statement or issued this week a whole lot of a year and common number said more time more than worse off. And Dr. Baumia any NPP money that moral right say mobekasa nkomwe and mobekasa ni mai ho asem. Maso maminti osimedu na yenkoye.
Mr. Speaker, mamena wase na menchia yahwefo. Ose ebi musi any moral right
exactly
to speak to the ensema regarding sa arrest amema dwene no emfaso bi eni so huna yenim ba bi ayekwa akowie
Me too.
Now, yeah, breso den ye. Ebi obi be can say ento aso. Mr. Speaker, ye woman here practice democracy. And first, let me say ade a ekoso no entimi break the spirit of any politician. Me nka ma NPP nko a. The ekoso NDC for entimi hunahuna wom. NPP entimi hunahuna. So say me ma betena ha makasa. Na nye wo de enu nti wo ba beche me. Wo de mbekwa akohye mu forever na wo ye den a mepie. Eti me hunu sabi impreduasa. Nyansa e wo mu a as a people baby ayanyina beduru. We are still holding on to this inferior tactic. To me, I atete kwa asem. Fane se e nokrempo se e happen under NPP. Se na nyansa ni musa abre na. Mr. Speaker, e nyansa abem. I'm asking, what do you find say enra?
I idea more politicians.
Asem kan me can say happen, but me be chirim. Se enra na nya enene. We promise say e ba be reset, I mean NDC. So is this a resetting they were calling for? Say Ghana for 2 million ma wo mu. Na ade a NPP ye na enra na say wo mo de na wo kan ye no kra. Ade NPP ye na enra na mo meto aso. Ana mo meye manenye west. Is that the resetting they are talking about? Let's be serious here. Let's be serious here. One, Ghana ya democracy atum. Kabina min kabi. Okay? Sabi, yeti hey se me betena ha na me ka se ai o ma panyini ma John Dramani Mahama sabi ese huna wodi no me ne nkrofo be ka bom ye be yeku atu no by Friday ogusu wa power I demon. You see se me pia bonte na police fo jame ma me kwa na prosi ne ye irresponsible.
Oh Samo.
Yes. Se me betena ha threaten the democracy of Ghana. Ese me de nkrofo be ba be yeku atu o mampanyini a se me what the capacity to commission sa asema me kan ye no ana me ni sa hoden no ense se me pie free do we mu na police for aba be fa me because that statement no se bi ense se pie free Ghana ni ba bi akra no o se police for be fa nipa no no mu ko hwehwem. And some are a play out no. The Jama Mesa Kasa say, and no dear a threat to national security. The first say you're practicing democracy no, and my whole quite so betting ya can do PBA. To me argument, sir.
Mitiopa,
Nemum Yamfa Ura David Asando de. And then a branch any year, yeah. It was a process for Kokofano. Is it a threat to national security? Won't defame me will be a. He's just criticizing the system. It's a doom so asamba. And what the billboard, our President Mahama Dasu. Now, honey, to Abama is a one or doom so, sorry, on to Mayano, MIA. Not doom so aba. Are you saying it's that taxpayers, any who can say Abakan was them? What's what did doom so levy? Not doom so aba. Are you saying it's that citizens of this country knew who was on better or margin? What's it? What brains no? Oh boy, what's I to lie down because according to Unchre Muno, a cow hunt who yinning in every hole.
A dear Bobby and some year ya more arrested.
Mammy women say, what remember? What I say? What's I tell me catch us what the make of grandpa. A bit derailed.
Because I mean, these are things
you have to tell me. You
see in the past more arrested or more arrested Bobby answer.
Is this the reset?
No, I'm just saying more arrested Bobby answer at the time. No, na Bobby answer. No, na mo say. I mean,
is this the reset? My catch us say a yatete kwasem. Eti Bobby answer, then you will have to bring that, not me. Me say yatete kwasem. Is this the reset? The NPP here na NDC bet to us the NDC be here then. Obi Obeka sa when make his argument be then NDC has no business being in power. Because of money you buy your name so much. What you say? So say say ya na mo woni o ma bi ho. Ebio me pa cho adenta kumi boni be no ye. Sa me no ti ha sesi ye. Sa me ka bibi na gu hu fi a. E dey na so ye. You the individual, you have every right. So we dey me be court. Say court metie magu animu ase. Eti court kura anyem patasika bi ma o. Ana court nhye na me mpa wa chew. We a civil issue. Eno na police asem. It's gotten to a point In fact, me kai fancy comedy. And then a fancy comedy here. Yaminfa ye gallant mena sabi ato yenchem eto wo no ensie owura sapo ne the former defense minister omu nyina ye nimsa na areho na abade abrantie ne comments a wo make here no me pa cho na eboda on national security o se ye kwache no Mr. Speaker edi nkomo so san nyoma wo mudi the one mudi nyoma ekọ no ayese eye ahunohuna intimidation ye kan crofo kasa ahwe omobo because NDC aban so oba be criticize wo mo a asem bia obeka bia no ye be ba police abefa unti basa social media especially obi abetu ne mafo it say de muntu mubu because your Mahama they won't tolerate sa de we you when you obama police for abefa wo they just wodi ehu e hye Ghana fomu and like just recently munua mu colleague Samson Ladi ayene. You say a branch bi wo a northern part of the country. Wako criticizing a DCE keke. Ese onye fit for purpose. Na no police for inviting. Where are we heading to? As a people,
you are saying say sa niema ni nyina ye niema enye, right?
Precisely so. Precisely so, and it's sinking our democracy. Me ne wo kasa me modi panyini bi Abraham letter 4 days ago. Ese ensem bi amema kwaka which you are aware. Ensem bi amema kwaka no. O say me retract na me apologize. Enye sa or the me be court. I believe that is how things should be. Mr. Speaker, what you say?
Yes.
Enye huna. No obi be ka say dum so aba. Worst case, what the worst case grandma police for kure ewo ne region ho no e invite no. This year dragging nipa no e de ne ba Accra. Baba Amando just because wakoye mfonini ekire say President Mahama ene na pamfo support LGBTQ. Ene sabi o sumo agina ni enya ho ni hwan ni.
Na hwan agina sumo.
Gina sumo President Mahama so agina sumo when it comes to LGBTQ. Onye sumo agina ni enya ni hwan ni. Anameboa because ni posture nyame na beka kire ne say ade na enye priority. Ono na beka na asem. Na nado danko akufuado. Sabi den na NDC for anka amfa no. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia sabi kremoni ya se wori preko ya yira koku ne basentali mo. What da say ya cause wo arrest. What da? MP Mirafi Jubilee House. Ya say light e wo hokra mpo no LGBT lights. Say ya NDC am ya sure say nke aba befa nipa kro. But we tolerated Samuel Marine
for mommy.
What you say? Etimi who is President Mahama. Any the security apparatus no almost one kai. Sebi from entina hoda. Omo hadden nkrofo a ye bechi obi a sa particular nkrofo no na ekofa omo no. Omo kai hu say NDC said the NPP anka power forever no. NDC so nka power forever. And I don't think say there is wisdom in what is going on. I will not encourage the next NPP administration, say Bayesa, but especially in the security architecture. No, almost system no, they intimidating NPP for no. One, one more social intimidation. No. Two, they should have it at the back of their mind. Say power is transient. One day, relatives and so ever don't want them.
That is Maswell. Ono a former Swami MC. Mame Emma Solo Ache na memano akwaba. Solo bache.
Ya kronto. Abadi wa miemo.
Maede.
Miliano. Nyoma kwa no mehu. Eja.
Me hu solo na meni.
Nyoma kwa no mehu. Mechia ochia miniamu a ewa studio ha. Eba hache.
Yes, ubaya che.
I was saying no DTB osieba. You say mraso say mekasa na say
mame ko believable home because we did not be the
on the
but I mean clearly no what ye Maxwell and before Maxwell ebem no na me kyerɛw data ɛwɔ hɔ. In fact, in the last 1 year 4 months the level of arrest associated with misinformation any the account more than the 8 years of President Akufo-Addo, the Otimi a year, over 18 arrests so far in the last 1 year 4 months. Mamintiu, and you're different from Omo crop positions. Ewa by more, ye invite you or ye chi or more by Yoko OSP, and the Akika Kahonina.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, in fact, sir, as a meet free, Mampenia Vedi Dada, Dr. Baumiano, about intimidation, and Miyama Shemeno was because MPP4 a fear bam and chair bia, and in Senia, Omsi Ye Omniama, Editu me Ye Niama Abrano Moa Bam. Intime, and Mammy. Enya GD be say enye niaye kan and intimidate abano. We will come to that. Before for and intimidate sa ba omiane MPP amanyo kuno. Because nanu ya na MPP for fear bem. Yehu kwan a omo fa so de oman Ghana hyeye e ka manfo kasaboa nyina hye omo yam. Even including headmasters and teachers are na omo diverge and as omo disclose Niema ekoso secondary school mu a enye papa. Oye teacher ni na bekasa a problem. Anunti bibi koso secondary schools mu I be affected. I mean epie ba obi abehu se free SHS na o man fa kwan paso anye. Teacher ni ntimi nka, headmaster ntimi nka. Ubi wa no kampe aban ba be fa. Niema bebresi ye so I'm shocked to hear say MPP4 kasa say free speech ho ato chima. O mind Ghana na se mind bia no e won hyehyɛ a o de bu ne mind police service adwuma wo defense ni nyina ka homa nipa behave reasonably uyi sa ne ma ni nyina free mu a nipa be behave to say mmoa wo nwirem enti sa ne ma no check e ma reasonable things adwuma enti say ne obi kasa no wan kasa yi na ye invite na enye ne bonus
but does that no warranty say Obi beka and now betro. That's
why I'm saying that
Dumso is back. Dumso is back. And no, I warrant to see a beko na.
Caleb Koda of CTFM. Then you saw what happened to him. So taking videos of cars I packets in National Security Secretariat. Yet you know molesting, assaulting.
But only National Security Zone.
So what did he say? Then Caleb Ekanye. That's why I'm saying that MPP4 have no moral grounds. Only and nine be to talk about some of these things. Because you can say you'll be anyone of my ass or no. One no wakasa under President Mahama. One said police for the brutalities. Abu Bono, Editu Akekano. Then no one find some George or Ghana. A whole member of parliament, Yabu Bono, Editu Akekano. Editu church and so to fire him. You saw it. It was here. We all saw it. So Baumia Anana Satan about me anyone. Baumia has no grounds. Many years see only grounds be as Obeka say Obi intimidate Obi. And nothing that make a choice. It's not really about in someone Obika any the associate arrest and the intimidate by MPP Amanyo Kono. A smooth governance. I didn't say pa eto akwem. Yeto abama yeto abama Amanyo Ko say bra na niema ye pese enko form niema ye pese mpeja na mpeja. U GDP ese mu peja. U inflation ese ba form na nipa hoto no. Exchange rate embra form. So wo fra ho Mr. Speaker won also ye Ghana nyina economists ba ko a ye you free one more obi ani wani obi ani wachi. Na se wo ba be ye mampani abedi akire. Na ye do eto economic management team ano. Na inflation rise ko do 54%. Na in 1.5 years another government eba my inflation back do single digit and intimidation. Then I'll be catching Ghana for Nibium. Also, your economic then yeah, also why arresting dollar not the number IGP. Dollar no extra 2 years could do 17 cities per 17 cities per dollar. No biaba. Now 1.5 years ni wa hold the dollar around 10 cities and 11 cities. Is that not intimidation? That is the real intimidation Dr. Bawumia is talking about. Amamuna woman to me anya just a twinkle of an eye. President Mahama turned the entire country into a construction site. Over secondary school biamuna bibi koso war a kwan onam so bibi koso war agriculture 4 year niema Ghana be bia busy. Is that not intimidation for you? That is the intimidation. And yes, and same way kra because you who the worst form of it. Ahmed Swali. Then yeah. You a member of parliament manage radio so. Ebonidin so obe attack no endi na enu endi na nsa abemu wa na ahwere ne nkwa
Yentimi anya ne hwe. Ya ko obi to the point of death. In 2020 elections, yehu nyema esi wo Ghana ha. Soldier for ede etuo ewura police station collation centers etoto egu nipam. Ema nipa 8 ewuye. And Dr. Bawumia was there. Nana Akufo-Addo was there. This man was a DCE. He was there. That time they are here because MPP for Moja blue.
Why are you losing the argument?
Enuti, omuno say omuye bonia and say can.
But justified under a reset, no. Mobekoswa yes idea.
Of course, then I make a choice say so my ewo. Not one fan she say papa and chire my na. Nipe wum ebe bi evutemwa. And I don't want to say that omo emblem mwa, so we should allow them to behave like that. I don't want to say that. It is she say no adwuma na check it omo a. Abronye ntimi kotran radio so. MB na no. Enka say judge be HNDC atare na den. Such I mean tawdry allegation.
So but say now phrase Supreme Court judges and they say omo ye unanimous. Unanimous FC was a very popular term.
It's not true.
Muntie
3 for Yanchomo.
Muntie 3 was not associated. Muntie 3 there, it came around more time.
You are condemning
But 2020, after the election in 2020, you call that Supreme Court, I mean election petitioner Ekoso, you were tagging the judges at the bench of the Supreme Court, say, Omoye unanimous FC.
Me say, Muntie 3. They spoke against judges.
Na ya mo na ban mu asem na wo ke dey asem na wo ke
opani
enye na me wo power
bone ben e no mo ye.
What is they spoke against the court, so we are aware.
And so if you speak today against a judge, I him say judiciary no e non-partisan.
Enti mo corner sa term na dem mo corner sa term na dem Supreme Court judges no na eno na mo pese mo kire sen under NPP. And not judges near partisan.
Mr. Speaker,
no, I'm just referring you to history in the past.
I don't money be
no. So to say
I'm telling you that
justify.
As someone make actually want to say, there is no problem at all. Before Frobians you, because you who Bobi Ansan the channel.
Yes.
Bobi Ansan one sample radio.
Oh
yeah, just a Facebook post about some of the justices.
So my thing.
So I feel the all catch me say so my then. Because opeso tie and W'asem. Abronya den oye.
Also me criminal.
I didn't know Okasa went me anka Abronya nsem a okan. Oka asem a
corrupt.
Oka asem a enye papa. E fa me ho. Okay? Na so threaten me na. Oni say me timi dey go police station.
For mommy.
Mr. Speaker, Ojetunza.
Yes, of course.
Me threaten to say how to be the police station. O dey me call so police ba be family me boa. Enti say we MPP ni na so wo kassetia system no na police police for who say asemo a wo ka no e threat nti say ye invite wa o de also mu dia ye blue nti me yen fa on mine na ye team no President Mahama Odano no or the discipline na ye adwuma wa jai e de nia academy bi so de ma institution bia say omo fanya adwuma enti say wo kasa no wan kasa yi nko ade a e na ye ti ha yi obie na no wan kasa yi a police be fa no.
Okay. But I say, mame solo na mintie solo so for Simadu. Solo mamintio Simadu.
Mr. Speaker, but I say, asem we asem bi any kwan mo. We edi asem no. The bia sorry no public kasa free e ko be bia na mboa.
Why me ana?
Wa be kasa ma onya problem da.
Oh dabi.
Maxwell na no dabi otie wa kandi ope. We are could you for any problem?
Be a dinner.
Label the Canadian no acco. The what are we discussing? You see, I don't know ma meje the label name be all can say the fight on the economy no. NPP ain't main fight, but omo dream fight is say omo record nti the United Party ye say ye need the hope of the country. I make me fight here. With superior argument. Ora mamu Bawumia minimum a handle no. Handlers near very weak.
Dr. Bawumia handlers.
Mama ne good who ni masi what. Hey, one track eh. Why mun effect arrest? Why mun effect arrest? Enya Ghana Police Service. Ora Bawumia no onye police chair. cancer chair for 8 years. A dear reforms. Pa no the bar police ni muntia o jahono. Na ye krojia. All of a sudden, under 16 months, police no about bear can say. And no more the omupe. Why you who not one year? Kabibia was say when the fundamentals are weak. The exchange rate will expose you. Police in 1 year. And it's way an institutional matter. I was a Ghana police service and no pay Kiafre PRO. No tia no treyimu. The NTA almost on we a day, Kochia Sumesia now Bentin. That's it. But to be a 1 year president, that's him be a worker. On every more Ghana police service, what about to Abama pay? Now, what problem? What's it here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, paragraph 5. I therefore serve notice to officers of the state who are active participants in this unholy enterprise that the day of accountability will come and the abuse of state power will be accountable. What started threatening? Oh, 2 minutes ago, we never what shall see 8 blues. What's it since last year? Nipa 18 year yachom west. Oh, and I said I'm data yet. Okay, Julobi demonstration. Julobi. 1 day, 1 shot, I receive 50. Tifrim. Julobi Fodo, almost Jubilee House, yeah, or Kufodo, Hunano, Baumia, Hunano, Edipa 50, Uti 18 Frimwa, a cap balance of 32. But I know Yamin, person may yes, I know, but I am here. Me you remember before. Me to me stress as ye we are say ya bon pass so benya long life. Me nguntem. Na man go fon go position na tie diom beka. Hope sina do ye de no de ye no. Ye fa ne senwa. Na me yi we kura mfiri mu. Me ya me pese me yes a political activist no. Stacy here Maxwell na no demu dabi. Until recently ni be program wa MPP for ma.
And you say, Yamasa.
May ba oh, and you have a tray bedroom.
Yeah, my no, you was.
Now be before Mo, and your free speech was some the king.
And I'm saying,
oh, buy now because I'm a crab for coffee. And I'm a may ye free and get our baby. Until recently, me didn't negotiate. Now, yeah, bah, mother, yeah. Almost say. Media general, be it TV3, be it on FM, be it on TV. At now, almost station so, and some of them can and favor woman or my boycott to the stand say, or my current national vice chair. I a friend of Buga press conference openly or Tam TV3 for microphone. No touching say journals onyana or baby funo. Una ni kroma. What is so dangerous more than this? 2023 okay. A plus UTV studios or year program and Jubi and the Mebru. Now I don't even want to go into this amount. This police for the arrest of Metro wants to buy in their contribution to the freedom of speech. MPP as a political party. Sir, A plus is a TV show a custom and no more there. I more the right of rejoinder. Even some program no sukrano, you will be now or yes sympathetic towards the MPP. No, not the youth wing of the MPP. I'm massing up. No more burger a live show to say get here, live programming. Now MPP for that bad day or mobile A plus. I mean, we have heard. What about Salamatu Mohammed, a 40-year-old mother of 4? Mamene say 2022 abrabomo edin komo dini wo ye wo bobine su enti owura Akufo-Addo amemu ye omonyon na obomba say owura Akufo-Addo mu ye peke no na owura fi Mensa Thompson asepa ose Akufo-Addo ne mama no any bomb tia fa plane e the Ghana plane dey call shopping in London ye fa no
the order pizza
ya fa no senwa Bobby Azadie no kakai. Was all my penny, Nana Akufo-Addo, the Hokafo, Rebecca, Akufo-Addo Foundation, no, Act of James Sasia, Viesi Landa, or more far from your father. And you know, ye shall sign your way in Anua. Not just a moody. eni se nka muka bia se wi ba ye na nka mato nkra ma media houses ne se sa asem wei ye kan bia ye party no vote ebetie 41 aba 19 and it ye twe ho next week we the topic for ba ye beba na wei omo no aba bedem ya make nyina ne say I don't support ehunahuna any achiche ewe body politics
but no na hu say cost ye na
me who is because you see the data available does not suggest so. Every year no release word your friends a press freedom index you see you deal with the data. In 2022 now your rankings in the world is 60th. In 2023 about 62nd. In 2024 at a tiba 50 and in 2025 a circle 52. And now me no say according to them your rankings number the 39th. So on what basis would I say and your money nyina ejija eno tira me shase no me den kan de we ebusa wo say Mr. Speaker when was the last time I obe kasa here because je wudi di ho ne se de bia o kasa na wa kasa vie petepepe nyina na se de bia ko fie a na me ye den ma betra se ye before ye nyina a campaign on the economy no omuni asemi on beka because all the indicators omuja enyina ye enya de o se obi dwene ho kura se enkofu bi beba memu ba be sa nioma no e de dia ye se yen create impression se o man na se je bi dem abre je bia ni babia e je bia ni babia enso no omo ye de sa but I would want to believe in enkofu se asem bis ba se ya awase mo push police for mo be chechire mu because in all this Ghana police have obi ankawe o hwa abrante ya de bia mo de chichi enkofu da pai owura Akufo-Addo a time no wo ho ene owo ho onu an na chichi in the past ene ne wo chichi aden yan question Ghana police echi amuchi mu
we are where so onu na chichi in the past
oh onu na chichi in the past na party obechi obefa senwa oh bobie mu wa yin ina no akofa o mo ayi de bi kwa na mo hobi o be fa bobie o mutu ba do ho be negotiate ye be fa o bi se kwabra o de ko enya hwe o be ba sort yase but you see me makase anytime police ni ba be chime me ni problem o say o chime wrongfully am aye me am bomb paye me sue the police institution what yase because of why am I money what are you talking about the police they work with laws omono yes omo de omo sa but when I say akoye politician papa penny or about me ahwe de o sa ka kire omo bio o show nkutupa the last paragraph
now see for mama
missing kwame when they ehu pa ehu
na asama o ka papa penny ne ba o me won say insult
enye insult bia papa penny when you penny oya kwada na bi yo ha oya kwada yo na be tire don't tell me e bia so be tire jana tire be bi ufi je di ye di mc ara because of what the last paragraph here
na mane ka sa asem
no oya kwada
mami
tell out to say na be there na tia say na MC no papa be there kwada say na MC ye ka say what tie ye ka no the last paragraph tie to patrons around the country. I urge you all to stay firm by refusing to succumb to intimidation while continue your civic duty to hold the government accountable to its promises. Odia no omako yentia omo fi form. Atem didia wonte brofo. Brofo na wonte ana. Brofo kra de wonte enti wodi gai. Atem didia emabunu ni di no. Dia papa de kanyina ne se montonko so. Na munya dia mo ye no. Na ye gina mochi. That is what the man is telling me. Na uko kasa asebwe na osu wia we. Yemfa oman kakraka te se Ghana abrobe wom egudie wom yemfa mbehye wonsa na oba na wonso beye omampani na no likely event na wa masa ade we adi se na nanu sa wonso wo she kutupa na yesu ataki on
okay let us say mami na was once again W'asem Yie so ne ewo Onia TV so mo share with DSTV so no channel 361 Go TV channel 116 we share live on our Facebook handle and our YouTube so and pay yenda munyina say Onia TV so any immediate speaker now mami mra believe so just to wrap it up na your time no and mama munyina no 5 minutes believe Ghana I exited the
How be big up you?
And some of my go in. 2 against 1. Oh, what
because of time.
We tolerated you. Can you speak to about when I speak to Alan that way, will you be happy? Why? Say Alan Penny, you so where this papa Penny. No, Alan. That be
yes, Mamintio on the IMF issues, you know, the financial bailout, you know, ye who idea free mass of Endra, Nina no Abane, but there is also another coordinated program, a buying no any IMF akomuse Mamintio on it na memra masu also. Mitio because me shall see if you on the answer.
Sure, Speaker, in fact, just to add to Solo on the previous topic. World International Press Freedom Index, no.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
no problem. Time
index, no, and supported muscle argument, no, in the sense that Senator Lokan, no, Omufia Bayamuno, not we are seeing a toss of 50. Now Africa high a toss of 6. President Mahama by Africa high jumping 2 steps, a toss of 4. The whole we are saying a toss of 39th. Inti Yenya Ubia Nyamfa and Sanki Kaomo. Memo ye de memo munsu se economy hu na obesu a no problem ko fa solution for bra inflation am 3% catch is oba o de beba 1% and only argument as say have and not to discuss persons like abronya no near there. In fact,
tables not tiny
they say you're free IMF MP before the enko shame you free na President Mahama ye manamo our kwan our faso a drive your mind Ghana a free a whole package, you know. IMF no IMP before the eco realm no omo ye ya magana for nyina kwa hohiahia. In fact 2024 ye ko campaign ko pie constituency bi e ma e wo ho exchange wo mu nyesi kan fan hye omu dwam ankrankra bosia e na omoje bosia no insimu e wo ho ano hye into matter ni din ohye obedo bosia that an interest rate even at the bank level crowning nam almost 30-something%. And then President Mahama is just a pa or done a dintino policy rate at say about 13%. One more force to say a baby single to get by the end of the year. But just what in a mention. Amamuno Aquaniano a quine and namsuno a tortilla a day. Ama Ubianya a regime muse Nema ebeye. For the past 1.5 years, to say in GDP has become, I think, the second or the third biggest in Africa. So big. President Mahama, I said 1% from now going, 1% of your GDP, no.
And no specific sector is banned a year.
No, I'm coming. 1% of your GDP as a major policy is now going to go into commercial agriculture. And it's not a small money, big money. Yet say GDP in the say 200 billion. 1% of it is huge. I be call agriculture. I'm a man for ako ye money this VFMO value for money office President Mahama
yes
are passing into law no. Oni ma dia e ba be e be si niema boni bebria e sisi in the previous government e be si anokwan se nipa mi unity mitna dem hye contract na omo increase bills no unnecessarily e dey ama obako enhwemanim ba wontumi wa ha yanim yesi ye oje 50 million we di no ase no kwa obi ani ha oso no mene sa bone na careless abandon na ma yen budget deficit in 2024 e shoot 2 years to almost
the 50 million na onya court
ana wonim ne atu won to be ye na
so but say no environmental related issues na money
opening me say sa kwan o mo fast so yen budget deficit so nim deficit the meaning of deficit so mine no expenditures e bro sika unya eso e shoot 2 years to almost about 7%. And then budget deficit about as low as 1.2%. It is because contracts being in your market in Kitibia and Crophobi, Eshedem normal a cookie, a day a boar, fufro, atoso, a bro, the contract some Nankasa times 10 near the certain no not value for money office no any ho acting in ho. President Mahama Diabase and sana contract be a bit me a unity a mo be a year Jumano. FPPA no as I said value for money audit system no so na omo check say enye kwasi ni kofi ene ko share dem
si for mame
ene omo keka omo nsase ene omo shoot price no anyhow na saa de we emeboa asoppresse ye budget deficit dan kwa ma bi no oman Ghana sika sem no ebegina yie nti President Mahama de in fact ene noendre ya free IMF mi wo gidie say nhyehyɛ ɔde to hɔ at the exit of IMF no ebeko so ama Ghana sika sem agina brane ama ye ne sene ne obi enjoy from the exchange rate ni odi dwa odi dollar ni pound ni ade ediga no wenya hotoso se okoto ade eba ena ne bo no ensesa ochina ne bo no begina ho into the surety in doing going business
believe me that say mabe mra maso so na maintain no maso mami maintain
the mechanic say IMF a year free me. It's all good, but
financial bailout no free more, but
maybe
yes,
maybe. The minu no mo kasa no. Almost say President Mahama buy na mamu na ye. Which aspect of mamu na ye? Let's be specific here. Yenka entum ensins asamuso. Emia futum fra. Mo say ye ja omo a junk economy. Meboa. Obi ko ojao a GDP growth of 5.7%. What's a junk? President Mahama in 2016 was a GDP growth of saying near 3.4%. And on a day. And that's Sunday your body Ukraine. Your jao or forest reserve of 9.1%. What's a junk economy? No correct. You can't run away from the fact that dollar no ever form same brand NPP or power. But dollar no ever form a same a brand NPP or office no. Mr. Speaker, say economy no aye year. Me pamcho teacher for den into your muka family. The teachers are calling you. Me pamcho ada na nurse for ni ntimi nya sika ntua o muka.
Nurse for den ni ntua.
Me ba omo a ye recruit wo omo no. Ada ye ntua o muka. Eye dan na meni wo kasa electricity dollar abafom but light bill board dey say brand Akufo-Addo president by more than 24%. It even went to 28%. Dollar was from, yes, we all agree. Say dollar was from. Water bill other than any board dey say brand Akufo-Addo president. Me pacho what happened to the cocoa farmers? Yati wo musika so me find this there from 3001 to 2,580, especially when you promised in your manifesto.
Don't make this lame.
Page 36.
It's too late.
As I won't take cocoa farmers and Sikaso.
Don't make this lame argument.
International market, and upper form, and Nuntino, Wabeti cocoa for Sikaso. We are talking of realities here. We are talking of realities here. Eti amamwo no dollar ne wo for me no kre adan na petrol any diesel board dey say bra na Akufo-Addo president.
You know 23 cities.
Oh, 23 cities. See, please. You see, these are verifiable figures. And I made the mensa na esi me boaka sa asema make a kire we. This is incontrovertible fact. Please, never
in 2024, move
in fact, okay, President Mahama Bejina State of the Nation's address this year. Or you see Shell prices. Okay, I say Shell na 15 cedis 50 pesos. In actual fact, year freeze na 15 cedis 45 pesos. But it's fair, so around up to 15 cedis 50 pesos. Na diesel. And President Mahama kind. Sabre na no kasa no was diesel and I'm 10 cedis. Many workers say diesel and then Shell Krona 16 cedis 64 pesos. Is it not expensive than when President Kufuor was president? Who is arguing over this? Why not just ask him when watching here? Yes,
but
it's
you
true.
Remember,
wait,
sir,
wait.
We once had a little.
You are talking of once.
No, to
you
are making references to the past. And maybe say you know, say full of what me koya could do 23 cities.
Yes,
a letter, right? In 2022, in 2023.
Yes, free so 2024. Now, a 1 year. I don't know President Mahama. I don't know President Mahama. State of the Nation's address. No, 123 cities. Let's not make that argument. And the President Mahama quoted 23 cities, no quoted 15 cities.
Check check.
So we are talking of 16 cities, 64 pesos this day. Again, Mr. Amu, so when you hear men's record here, you see, on the external issues that will affect on us, and I will not downplay it, just as NBC did previously. Also, gradually a dollar started you see now starting depreciating. I'm a businessman. This morning I checked. In fact, 3 days ago, me call APSA. Not dollar no, your ton 11 cedis 50 pesos. No more ton 11 cedis 80 pesos. Me pacho o check online update every day. I only say between 3 days in Ukraine. It's not because of BBL. It's because they say you're spending more in buying fuel. It will hear more dollars now. They are the pressure about $2. Now, Sabio, Iran war 9,000 miles per annum. And the President Mahama now New York talk. I admit to say Russia-Ukraine war ne COVID saying impact. What the Iran war no, any Israel money USD no, what is doing to our economy now is making life unbearable for us. Okay. So it's not everything that we have to play politics with it. When your money in our favor, just 10 seconds, let me conclude. Like I always say cocoa prices international market favor when you're more forex. See our gold prices favor buying into when you're more for dollars. Yeah. What you are saying? And the petrol war will form to say the day and President Mahama State of the Nation's address. Now a crude between $60-65 now. Obos are buying enough forex. I'm had the idea na musori amoyen. Two ni free honum se siano. What is happening to the economy? The hardship that it is bringing on the utility ebo yentu mundu 28% in this country, especially electricity. First quarter and second quarter of 2025, now you have 14.75. Third quarter, now you have 2.45. And fourth quarter, 1.14. Nina 18.34%. This is a lie.
And until Obetina Hana in your opportunity.
And Wajana
Mema data, I was just a lie.
Wow, Conjo, why did I better James Oman? And Ujana minute throw ya.
Time no crash. Yes.
Oman be a crime mefa naturally say unye discipline. That is the longest short of it. Because I am a bar almost the policy credibility na eba. So want to mean balance where you also support or balance of payment position and IMF eba. And until yenu MPP for by 2017 no 2018 2019 obetia no mo say we have turned the corner. Sabro for no kai. Kwame Benka say urefi. Ti turned the corner no. Ya more minor ye. All of a sudden, almost if we be by a friend of Russia, Ukraine. And it o minor say. TBO. And it ye ko IMF. So NDC for take over na Russia Ukraine war ninyo. Me no kasi say war no.
Yes.
Inti on what basis na no mu use sa Russia Ukraine no. In fact, see how you can say the Strait of Hormuz, a triple whammy, and also Taiwan between Taiwan and China, a tension a sinkui, or first Strait of Hormuz, Israel, Iran, US. Oko one so Russia, Ukraine. They are knowledge, you know. So if Russia, Ukraine, make me the inflation could do 54. What they boy me? And then Iran, US, Israel. Asabeka Taiwan and China hold the inflation also get do base 200%.
Taiwan China
tension na won na worship kwame you see we say your friend be a causative agent and you may betimi ama
but the reality check is that Taiwan and China
I want you Trump on a meeting. That's the point. That's the point. But even that's the point. But you see, straight off Musa. You host about 20% of international trade when it comes to crude. And so say affect
now Russia the name
what you say
Russia
and no tell say what do mean for your sika and go to amena na ends to say CD to the dollar na begina amena that's what upon to
we argument also
what do mean 52 billion Nigerian free Ghana commercial bank account to mu say on non account na we are now the former finance minister a Ghana ko America now see the end sound now
52 billion account
onya you see what you buy one car buy what you been one gaba I don't staff level agreement epian de chi oro na di shemu si yenko mamrewafo no kokrofo haircut ana makado oro ajekum beka kire se saade na oro aba omiadi enimu ye mamrewafo no kokrofo be 800 omo hwere omo nka oro makado oboa meboa na ta mo fu ta ta wi be ka sa se wa ba tra ga so na
ye etie ye me na wase anope ewo ka W'asem Yie dwumadie eso na sene so say free juada ekosi fiada obetemenka ewo Onua FM so but next week free juada ekono we have some interesting stories yebeye at the amount in the western region precisely Amenfi West constituency ni mo akwan hodo a esase construct here akwakoye bibie ho we'll bring you more fact on it na ye ne wadi ho enkomo free juada eko nti big time with us me dey Kwame Appiah Kubi na Richard Etonam Nyako the Eastern Regional Youth Organizer of the NDC and I think Solomon Owusu, Director of Communication UP and I think Maxwell Boache and so Secretary to the Local Government Committee at the New Patriotic Party Ate and I think he's also a former Swami MC and I think Mame and now was the production team I don't know next week you best so anyway Asia W'asem Yie. Good morning. Enjoy your rest of the weekend.